presiding judge of the Commercial Division in Brooklyn, Kings County Supreme Court. But that's just my 9-to-5 job. You know, my road to the bench was a rocky road, like your road. Like most of us immigrants, I'm from the Caribbean island of Trinidad and Tobago. And actually, my mother was born in Grenada, and my father was born in St. Vincent. They each left their respective islands to go to Trinidad because it was the larger island to look for work. And they met each other there. And 9 months, well, hopefully more than 9 months later, I was born. A couple of years later, I was born in Trinidad. And after a while, they emigrated to England. They sent for me. So most of my schooling was in London, England, until I came over here. And, you know, being an immigrant, whether you're from the Caribbean, whether you're from Africa, you know, there's lots of hurdles that you have to get over. And you have to be twice as good as the next person. Not because they are better than you, but because of the advantages that they have over you. And because coming from a foreign country, they look down at you and they don't think that you are their equal or you are as capable as they are. So you have to work twice as hard to prove to them that you are their equal, and sometimes you are even better than them because you have that drive that they don't have. Things that they take for granted, you have to work hard for it, and you get to appreciate it more, because when you work for something, you value it more and you appreciate it more. I know the theme is all about empowering women, and most of the sheroes in my life have been women. My mother, my grandmother. My grandmother had 19 children. Wow. One woman. And no twins. But this woman, every morning, children woke up, there was a pot of tea on the fire, there was bread baking in the oven, and there was a pan of cheese. So they always had something to eat. How she did it, where it came from, nobody knew, but it was always there. And you know, she worked in the mountains. Back then in the Caribbean, you had to go to the mountains to toil the vegetables, the yam, the bananas, etc. And she was 92 when she died, and she stopped going to the mountains at the age of 89.
Wow. So where was that?
When you grow up in a household like that, and even though I grew up in London, every summer I used to go back. They used to send me back home to the Caribbean to stay, you know, when school was out. And when you see, and she never complained. And, you know, the first time I went back after I lived in England for a couple of years, and I was like, you know, how could you do this? And why? And, you know, because we come from London with the lights and the running water and electricity here and there, and then you go back into this little place which is like a boathouse with an outhouse and stuff. And it was, to me it was strange, but to them it was natural, and nobody complained. And it was like, you know, everybody was happy. And I'm saying, you know, I'm in this country where I have everything and people are unhappy and sad and they're hustling and bustling, and the parents don't get time to spend with their children because they work in 2-3 jobs, and when they come home they're so tired. And then I come into the West Indies and kids are running around bare feet, you know, ragged and torn clothes, but they're happy. Yes. And it's that where I first realized that money can't buy happiness.
Yes.
And that, you know, if you have love, it's priceless. You can't put a price tag on love, and you can't buy love. And the love that I experienced from my grandmother growing up and spending the summers in the West Indies, I mean, thank you very much. That's invaluable. And that gave me the strength and the motivation to reach as far as I reach, you know, because, you know, the cliche is, you know, education will open up the door for you and expose you to a world that you maybe only dreamed of. and that is very true. I never thought that a little girl from Caribbean parents who didn't have even a kindergarten education, because back then they really didn't have, they had what you call common sense. They didn't have book sense, but they had common sense. And I'm telling you, the common sense that they had, you couldn't learn that in any book, in no book. I mean, no matter, you could be a PhD, you could have all the education in the world, but the common sense my ancestors had was invaluable. And, I stand here today, as a Supreme Court judge. I was recently appointed to the Commercial Division. I'm the first Black judge to be the presiding judge and those of you who live in New York, especially in Brooklyn, you know that the real estate in New York has just hit the roof. And Brooklyn is now the new Manhattan, because they've ran out of space in Manhattan, so they're all coming to Brooklyn. And it's, I deal with cases, like trillions of dollars. And, the first time I had to count how many zeros was in a trillion, because I didn't even know. I know a million, a billion, but when it says this property is worth $2-3 trillion, and I'm like, wait, hold up, And it's really, sometimes I sit back and I laugh, because when, it's predominantly white male attorneys who do commercial law in Brooklyn. And I'm much younger than I look. I have good genes, I have to thank my mom and dad, and my grandparents for that. So oftentimes when they walk in and they see me, number one, they think I'm the clerk or a secretary or something like that. They never think that I'm an attorney. No, I'm an attorney. What am I? A judge.
Big judge.
And I just laugh to myself sometimes, because they walk in, the first they see a female, and they see a black person, a black female, and a person they think is young, and it throws them off. And I just smile to myself, because I know who I'm dealing with, and the complexities of the cases that I'm dealing with. I know I had to step up my game, because I have to represent not only myself, but those who are like me and who will come behind me. And I'm dealing in a world where I'm the only black person, and where for instance, with the Barclays, anyone here live in Brooklyn?
We know about it, yeah.
Okay, you're familiar with the Barclays Center? Yeah. Okay, I just issued an order yesterday closing down the construction of the Barclays Center because it wasn't up to code. So now, and I assessed a fine of $55,000 a day until they correct the fine. And they said, who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that a black girl from the Caribbean who used to run around Bay Fields and stuff has that type of power? But like I said, to whom much is given, much is expected. And every time I take that bench, I said prayer, and I said, that I'm thankful, and I'm always mindful that I am there to serve the people, and the people elected me and put me there. But more importantly, I really and truly believe that God has ordered my steps, to be where I am, and to serve a purpose, and to make a difference. So that is something that I'm always mindful of, and I strive my best every day to do that, and to be an example for others. And when the next black person, girl from the Caribbean, from Africa, from anywhere, Bedford-Stuyvesant, Palm Heights, say they want to be a judge, or they want to be a lawyer, they want to be an attorney, doctor, they can look at me and say, well, if she can do it, and so can I.
Yes.
And that is, what it's nothing and this woman has changed my life.
Yes,
and
she's beautiful.
It's really,
I'm the regular friend. I love her. I love her. And you see what I was talking about? You see how humble this judge is and how humble? Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Beautiful energy.
We're going to keep her so every woman in here can get a picture with with her before she leaves. We're gonna continue the program, but we're gonna keep her, because this is the kind of example we wanna follow. You see the judge follow her dream today. She's one of the most powerful women in America, because guess what? Brooklyn has all the money, and she decides how and when and where. I don't even know how many zeros in the trillion.
Yes, you gotta tell us.
Please, can we clap again for her? You know, when I was growing up, to be an attorney was the worst career I ever dreamt of coming through that. You know what? We were small with our grandparents, and when we go to church, you know, children's service, they'll be telling us the names of careers that will go to hell. You know? And one of the major ones is lawyer. That because they tell lies and when they die, they go to hell. So when my parents came back from England, one day we asked our mom, you know our mom is a teacher, but our dad, my mother said he's a lawyer. 3 of us went to the room, locked ourselves and started crying. That our father will go to hell. You know? Because we were told that all lawyers will do what? We go to hell. Hey, we locked ourselves. Everything, the house help will come and tell us, come out and eat. We'll be crying all day. When my parents came, the house help tell them, 3 of them were inside the room crying. They knocked the door, they didn't know how to open the door. So eventually, my father broke the door and then saw us crying with eyes red. He asked this person, asked me, what is the problem? Why are you crying? Who beat you? We didn't say anything. The next thing, my mother asked, who beat? We look at this one, we look at that one. The next thing, we started crying in their presence. So they now carried us out and said, that was a mystery, you know. They didn't know why we are 3 of us crying at the same time, looking ourselves inside the room. And until we said that our teacher in the church said that all lawyers will go to hell. And we don't want our father to go to hell because he's a lawyer. Hey, that was like, it was like the whole world has turned around. You know, my father was, so from there, they sat us and they telling us about careers, top lawyers, and all the rest of them. In fact, my mother, being a teacher, said, gave us assignment that Saturday to do an essay of the career, what you want to be when you grow up. You know? So they want to change our perception, but that did not change me to become an attorney. I went into being a teacher. So when I see people like George, when I see them talk, when I see people like her, I have friends who are judges, and I have my sisters here from Nigeria who are all attorneys, and when I see them, I become too proud of them. In fact, when I was getting married, I didn't want to marry a lawyer. That was the next person I want to call. And when I said no, I didn't know he was a lawyer. Can you imagine? So thank you, Your Worship, for that. And we want more of that to get involved with the rights of women, rights of women. You know, because just as your story is exciting, you made it from barefoot to a venture. You know, I know you don't know what it is. There are a lot of women who have this kind of dream, who have these aspirations, and we need your story to empower them. So next time when we call you, leave the 50,000 bill.
A day.
Please. So with this, I want to bring in our guest speaker for tonight. She's all the way from Nigeria. She's also an attorney, and she is involved with rural widows in communities. I call her a barrister. No, in Nigeria we say all attorneys barrister. Barrister Gozie Udobi, please come to the podium.
Everyone. Good evening. My Lord, where I come from, I should actually bow. So I don't want to be in contempt of court. Because as long as you are seated here, your court is seated. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here tonight to speak on this topic. because it started with a dream. And when I saw the power of dreams award, I said to myself, yeah, dream is powerful if you work on it. But if you wake up and forget about it, and you lose it, you don't just lose it as a person. There are people that are tied to that dream who will also lose out along the way. And so I want to thank the organizers of this program for the invitation to speak and for the award. I want to thank my sister, Dr. Ada. I want to thank everyone here for being here despite the cold. I'm still trying to adjust from extreme heat to this level of cold. I came in exactly 1 week today, and my body is almost at the point of adjusting. I want to thank the media team who surprised me by being here. They are the media team of the foundation that I founded 10 years ago. And they are strong partners. They are based here in New York, in Brooklyn, in Bronx, and they came all the way. Yeah, they partnered with us for as long as we've worked. And the work they do basically is to work with organizations and ministries to support them to come out and be out there without charging them anything. It's free service. And so this evening I am expected to speak on solutions for empowerment of rural widows. But I don't want to delve into that without giving a background on how we got to the point of having solutions. In 1979, I was 8 years, and a few years after they told me it was diabetes, but I knew that my mother died. At that age, she was 41, I was 8. And at times tragedies are tragedies, but they are meant to start up a journey that years down the line you find some positivity. And so that death, being the youngest child of 6 children, that death led to my relocation from the city. Because on the same day she died, my father was driving to the hospital to pay her a visit and was crushed by a trailer. And so it was a double tragedy. And so from that death, there was nobody in the city to take care of me, being the youngest. And every other sibling of mine were either in university or they were in high school. So they were living there. I was the only person. And then the decision was taken, of course, without my consent, to relocate me to the rural community. To Ogidi. Ogidi is in Anambra State, the hometown of Chinua Achebe. And so I found myself moving from the city to the village. And a lot of things changed. And I was handed over to an older family relative who we called Mama, and that's our mother. She was everybody's mother. But then, it wasn't just, now when I think back, I'm happy. Now I'm happy this happened. Then I was not. I did everything possible to escape. But each attempt was foiled. But something struck me, widowhood. Because I witnessed women who normally would dress in colorful clothes, suddenly in black. And when you ask questions, they will let you know that they love their husbands. And then at times you won't see some of them. Why? They didn't have male children or they didn't have children at all. And so they have been asked to leave the family. And for some of them, you notice a drop in their social standard. And I followed Mama to so many of those funerals. And she will always say to me, don't come close to where they are shaving the hair of the widow. But I will always go close and peek from every little space. I was curious. And then I got worried because I felt they weren't well treated. And one of the days I remember I asked a family friend to tell me the course I could study to be able to provide help. I didn't know the type of help to provide, but I felt I needed to do something. And he said, oh, you better be a lawyer. And but he didn't tell me what to do when I become one. how to help them. But I eventually became one. And in the course of my childhood, I saw a lot of maltreatment and of those widows. I witnessed so much. And then there were too many rules then. I don't know about now because I didn't experience some of them when my husband died. But I know that by 6 p.m. in those days, those widows were meant to be home. And they were the sole providers of their family. So if they were to work after 6 p.m. and you want them home because it's cultural, what happens to the income they are supposed to make at that point? So these were questions that plagued my mind, that bothered me at that point. And so several years after, I ended up a lawyer, worked with a non-profit for 5 years. And those 5 years, most of the cases I faced were also eviction of widows, disinheritance of widows, a lot of stuff surrounding widows. And then at a point I got tired and I resigned because I thought it was enough. And my husband, all he wanted was a wife that is a judge. And so he convinced me to resign and work towards being a judge in my state. And I thought that was what I wanted, and I agreed. And he kept saying to me, when you become a judge and you deliver a fantastic judgment, they will come and thank you with a goat or a cow. And you make pepper soup for me, because he knows I love cooking. And so I will say, yes, I'll make pepper soup. I will describe the pepper soup and everything. Well, I am not yet one. But I ended up going back into widows' issues. And so in 2008, with his approval and his partnership, we founded a foundation for widows. And our idea was to take a percentage of the family funds, because he was successful in his business, to help the widows that we could help. We never planned for it to go international. We never planned for it to become what it has become today. And because of my experience growing up in Ogidi, and the experience I gathered from working with the nonprofit, I was already exposed to some of the issues. And so we sat down and we said to ourselves, what do we do? And my husband said, it's your field. What do you want us to do? I'll provide the resources, I'll talk to my friends. And so we talked about, number one, changing the mindset. Because a lot of the widows believe that, look, it's fine what they do to us. Mm-hmm. In 2007, I did a research program that took me to 4 countries in West Africa. I visited a community in Togo, in Western Togo. Togo is in West Africa. And there I met a group of widows. I had a focus group discussion with them, and they told me that when a woman is suspected of killing her husband, that what they do in the community is to set up a fire. Yeah. What do they use to set up the fire? Palm kernel shells, you know palm kernel shells, and dry pepper. And so when that dry pepper and the palm kernel shells emit the smoke, that if the widow is guilty, she will start coughing when she takes in the smoke. You know, I got into an argument with them, trying to convince them that that was impossible. Because for a widow that is asthmatic, it's natural that she will cough.
Even if
and
it's
they
not
said no.
asthmatic. Even if it's not asthmatic.
And they said no, even if she had an already existing cough, that if she was innocent, that she would never cough. I gave up.
She never cough.
Yeah. So for us, when you think of the solutions for empowering them, because to empower means to move them from the state where we found them to a state where they need to be. And personally, I don't believe in giving fish.
Good.
I'd rather teach you how to fish. Because giving fish means that you have to come to me all the time, and I don't like that. And so when I give you fish, which is the vision of the foundation, when we train you and empower you, we give you a period of time, and then we match you with a more indigent widow, and you sign up to support the person. Even if it's $1, even if it's half $1, but you should be able to be responsible for someone. And so we designed a program to work on the mindset of the widows. Because a lot of women will say to you, they have told me during baseline surveys in communities, some of them will say to you, oh, when their husbands died, they were maltreated. And so if another woman's husband dies, that person should also be maltreated. You know that kind of mindset. So we needed also to change all of that. And then we also needed to work with them to let them know that they did not kill the men. You know, because some of the women believe, oh, she killed her husband. I was speaking to a widow a few days before I traveled who said to me, they kept telling me I killed my husband, and at a point I believed them. Yes, you know, so when we've run outreaches, medical, in 35 communities, very interior communities. And the level of poverty, the last community we visited in November, the level of poverty we met there was stunning. And so to work with them, you have to first of all, let them know that they need that help, and that their pattern of thinking is faulty, and that it needs to be changed. There are strategies for that, of course, we know that. And that was and that is still our entry point for most of our activities. Secondly, their health. Okay, let me continue with education. Most times when I say to people, we educate widows, their mind goes to school. Some of them are too old to go to school. Some of them can't even do primary one. So we are not thinking about sending them to school, but we are thinking about educating them to also advocate, because you can get them to be the advocates and you back them up to advocate for the cultural reforms. There are a lot of cultures that need to be reformed back home. And so when we succeed with that, for me, that is the foundation, because you really have to get them to accept the interventions you have. Our next major solution is in the area of health. A lot of these widows are sick. We run medical missions. We have doctors from the tertiary hospital in my community who work with us. And at the end of every outreach, I sit with the medical team and review the records. Most of the times, when you go through the papers, I don't know what they call it, you know, where they write the blood pressure, the temperature. Most of these widows are with very high blood pressure. And then when you check their sugar level, it's scary. I'm diabetic, I've been diabetic for 22 years, and you wouldn't know except I tell you. And so when we get into a community and you check a widow's sugar level by 9 a.m. in the morning, and it's 468. And meanwhile, she's taking breakfast of fufu, and then she's waiting for the rice that you are going to serve at the outreach. And then one of the widows, she was still in white, I asked her, when was the last time you took your tablet? Daolil and glucophage. And she said to me, I took Daolil on Tuesday. The last time was on Tuesday. This was on a Saturday. And then she took glucophage, the last one, the previous day. I said, why? And she started crying. And so I got my answer from the tears. Why? No money.
He's managing.
And that was the first outreach that we had. And that led us to start keeping the medicines in our office. So right now, at the Foundation's office, we have tablets for blood pressure, we have tablets for diabetes, but we have to be sure that those are your regular tablets. So it's just like to refill for you at no cost, because they can't afford those. And so when we also decided to tackle the issue of health, after changing the mindset, the next solution to empowering them is a healthy widow that would think about running a business. If if a widow is not healthy, there's no way. She cannot take care of her children. She won't even be able to stand up to challenge anybody that is taking what belongs to her. And so we initiated the medical mission that we run every year. It's expensive. And so at times we run 2 missions, at times we run 3, at times we run 4 in a year. It depends. But in the past 2 years, we've had families who say to us, how much is it going to cost? Come to my community. And they pick the bills because they are seeing the result. And for this year, we've decided to partner with a breast cancer awareness organization, of which I'm their brand ambassador, for them to also check out the widows for lumps, and to have cervical pap smear screening, because it kills. And there's no way they can transport themselves from the village to the city to go and run all those. So we've decided to advance, because for us it's important that a widow is healthy. The challenges are too many. I was widowed 5 years ago. I have 3 children I'm taking care of. And I am not indigent, I am not vulnerable. And I know the challenges I face. So imagine those widows in the rural communities who don't have any form of support, no education, no job.
No money.
No money. One of our volunteer legal officers, because we also provide free legal services. I don't know if Nigeria is, okay, it's just after midnight. So yesterday in Nigeria, she interviewed a widow that was referred to us. Somebody referred to her to me on Facebook, and I referred her to the office. Her husband has been in the mortuary for a long time. Why? Because the family convened, drew up a budget for the funeral, and gave her a bill of about $160 equivalent to contribute. She didn't have it, so they left the corpse in the mortuary. Yeah. And so I told Joy, Barrister Joy Okoli, I said, interview her, document her, and let me know what we need to do. Because as long as the corpse is in the mortuary, she will still have to pay. And so just before I came out here, I said to her, I said, Joy, how was it? She said, it was terrible. And she could be emotional, so I didn't want to ask further. I said, okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow. But I would need us to intervene, because the man has to be buried. You know how our tradition is. As long as the man is in the mortuary, she's tied down. Yes. Do we have any other Igbo person here?
Yes.
Oh, good. You know the tradition. As long as the man is not buried, she won't engage in any meaningful activity. And then who feeds those children? So what we want to do, latest by Sunday, is to raise a call on Facebook. We have partners on Facebook. About 90 or 92% of our funding partners are on Facebook. We want to raise a call. People are already asking questions. What do we do? We want to raise a call and raise that money and give to her for that funeral to be done. And then after the funeral, we find out how to rehabilitate her. Now, the legal services, for me, is very important. Not because I'm a lawyer, but because the level of disinheritance. Yeah. Oh, this widow doesn't have a male child, doesn't have children. It's not a woman that determines the sex of a child. And so if a widow ends up with 5 female children, they are children. They are not animals. In Nigeria, snakes swallow money these days. And they are not snakes. Yeah, monkeys go into the government agencies and swallow money. Snakes swallow money. So are they trying to tell us that a widow should have snakes as children rather than female children? And so when a widow is disinherited, some of them don't even know the rights they have. And if you don't know you have rights, how do you know when the rights are violated? And so we provide free legal services. For 10 years, we have never charged any widow a dime for anything. The free legal services could be just coming into the office to talk to us so that we direct you on what to do. It could be to help the widow who is being evicted illegally. There's what we call letters of administration. I don't know if it's the system here. When a man dies without a will, the widow will need to procure letters of administration to be able to access whatever is left. And in my culture, if you ask your husband to write a will, woo! He might call the kindred to meet with you.
You want to kill him?
That you want to kill him. And you might need to start tasting the food before he eats to be sure that it's not poisoned. So the processing of the letter of administration and every other thing, and then the education and welfare of the widow's children, we help them to ensure that their children go to school. Initially, we were just paying school fees, and then we found out that it's beyond school fees. What of breakfast in the morning? What of lunch after school? What of dinner? What of even the sustenance to be able to stay in school? And so through our Facebook friends, we've been able to do that. The protection of their rights, and the improved access to justice. We use improved access because there's access, but it needs to be improved. And so the improved access to justice, we've been able to do projects that helped us to simplify the widowhood law in the 2 key states that we work in, and got them into simple English, Igbo language, which is our language, and the Pidgin, which is the local English that we speak. And then we printed about 13,000 copies of the law, and we have a strong partnership with the United States Consulate in Nigeria, who has funded us to do that, and a couple of other organizations in Europe and here in America. And so we're able to distribute those laws for the widows to know, to educate them on the rights that they have, which is important. And then finally, a very basic and important solution is economic empowerment. A widow that is not economically empowered can be crushed easily. They crush the ones that are economically empowered. Not to talk of a widow that has to beg. And some of these widows will tell you, because you see some of them having babies after their husband's death, and they'll say, oh, this man promised to help me train my children. This man promised to give me money. This man promised to give me food. And then as soon as I got pregnant, he disappeared. And so if a widow is able to take care of herself, take care of her children, it limits the danger. And for me, it's not just the risk of pregnancy. One of the risks of contracting sexually transmitted diseases that shortens her life, and then her children become orphans. And so what we do is to run skill acquisition training for them, support them in their existing businesses. We have volunteers. We have about 110 or 112 volunteers cutting across different professions. We have bankers who help us to access these widows, their business plans, and follow them up to make sure that the money we invest is not wasted. And we run 6 monthly loan scheme, zero interest, that they are able to take and return. And for some of them, we give out without asking it to be returned for them to start. And from my experience in the past 10 years, when a widow is able to make money, support her children, support herself, there's a limit to the violations that take place. And so when we think about rural widows, for me personally, I don't want to keep seeing widowhood having the face of poverty. We want a situation where we can raise widows, that will raise other widows, that will raise other widows, and it becomes a cycle. Our help must not come from non-widows. Empowered widows can empower other widows. And it's important that we speak out when it's happening around us. For us from Africa, from Nigeria, when a widow is being violated, don't see it as women issues. Because if it's women issues, it's men issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
As a learned gentlewoman, I put it to you that you have nailed the cat on the head by releasing these solutions. And most of us who are thinking, where do I start? I think as opportunities is open on where to start. The situation of widows is not different from the situation of a woman who is married by a polygamous man. It's not different from a man who who has a wife at home and has many concubines outside. It's not different from a man who has a wife, children, and is irresponsible. He cannot cater for his family. So these are solutions, and we are moving on to see how to help a lot of women. We have the old women, the middle-aged women, the single mothers, the widows. What?
The girl child. The girl child.
The girl child. Exactly, the girls. You know, someone was talking about trafficking. Was it you?
Mm-hmm.
At the morning section at African Union. The trafficking of girl child to make money. And I'm saying that the issue of trafficking shouldn't be a problem. What is a problem is the women trafficking these girls.
Yes.
You will leave your own daughter in a very expensive environment with house help, with drivers, with cars and everything, and you have the heart to take another woman's daughter and sell to enrich your pocket and make your daughter fantastic. That is murder. The Bible said, thou shalt not kill. You're already killing that woman. When you know that, you go and tell them that you want to take this child to Dubai to make money for her. You are using her for sex hawking, sex business. Some are used for political rituals. And it is women they give money to bring girls for such. So our problem is we women. You know, a few years ago when we were talking about violence against women, you know, every girl was saying violence against women, violence against women. It was raining everywhere. Violence against women. And I asked them, what about women violence against women? Who is going to talk about it? You see? So we have a lot of challenges, and I think the best first solution is our mindset to gender issues. Our mindset. Let us go back to the drawing table and retrace our style. Our style. And you know what? The funniest is that when we do all these things, the men will be seated at the executive chair, cross their leg, and be laughing at us, fanning themselves. Because they know they are not intelligent when it comes to us. So this is a very pertinent story. So, Paris to them as well. Thank you so much for coming all the way from Nigeria. In fact, when I met her on Facebook, she said she's coming for CSW. I said, well, welcome. And I waited for her to tell me she's taking off, and I say, you are in the program. Because I know if I told her in Nigeria, she would tell me she has cancelled her flight. She's not going again. And until I waited for her to tell me she is somewhere waiting for Emirates to land New York, I said, you are in the program. Oh. I was sure she was coming to America. She wasn't going back to Nigeria. You know, we Africa we have a style. When we don't want to do certain things, say, oh, you see, I just decided to, I just decided to. So she did not decide to, because I follow her every hour. In fact, when I'm tired of my computer desk, I go to Facebook and I see her, and she's always there 24 hours. She's always there 24 hours, and she will be, if you send her hello, the next moment she replies you. So I follow what she's doing on widows, and there was one that was needing a sewing machine to help a widow, So we are there are a lot of women that needs to be helped in the rural communities. But let us stop going on medical mission for 1 week to Africa. It is not solving their problem. Let us stop dashing them bag of rice. It is not solving their problem. Let us tell them how to fish to a more sustainable living. That is what we are looking for. And we want to call, even this center, at times we do empowerment, we reach out and all the rest of it. But this center, maybe later the executive director will talk about what we do here for communities in Africa, for the girl child, for the youth, the children, and women. So, in fact, in April, she's planning to travel to Africa in support of this outreach. We are not giving them money, but we are telling them how to live a much better, sustainable life. So with this, I don't want to go into, because by now UN has released the agreed conclusion, so no more English, no more conference, no more speaking. Let us now enjoy our Danny Glover Award. So by this time, we are going to recognize some of the awardees, and then after that we go into open discussion. But please, if you receive the award and you leave that door to go, my name is Trump. I'll stay in that door. So, Dr. Monica, over to you.
Stay right here. We're going to remove our little pulpit here, because as you can see, we have so much beer, like the Barclays Center with all this way. And since we have the judge who hasn't restricted us yet, we're going to try to move this over to the side so we can get a nice picture. We want to call Ray Rashid up to the front, so we're going to let him be one of our presenters tonight. And we're going to present our honorees with the award and get a nice picture, because I know that there are one or two people that has to leave, so including our photographer, who's doing such a wonderful job right here. And he prints out right away.
Please, the crew are broadcasting live, so when you come out to receive our award, face the camera.
Yeah, so
This thing is going worldwide.
stand right here, facing the camera,
Make sure it's
right? And we're going to give you, and then our honoree to come right here, and which photographer? How could we get a good picture? Maybe we can ease some of the chairs on the side. Okay. So we could use some of the chairs on this side, just temporary, so we can get a good picture of the honorees, and then we'll go back to normal again. And we have some more food and some more refreshment, so it's far from over yet. So this is good photographer. You get a good shot right here. Okay, good. So when we call up our honorees, their family Rashid is going to present. We want to call our big judge, I like to call her. Because the camera is on, we just asked you to say, a little something, introduce yourself real quickly, and just say a little something for the camera's sake, right? That's good, because we are being broadcast live worldwide right now, courtesy of
Diaspora Events.
There we go. So, without further ado, where's a photographer? Got that. Oh, first let me take my stuff. Okay. Come back. Of course, this award is presented to you by Danny Glover, and it says that it's presented to its United Nations agenda, the CSW 67, Empower Rural Women and Girls, and it's presented to a person who follow their dreams, and in doing so contribute to the uplifting improvement of a person, place, or thing. And Judge, we know you certainly have done that. We want to
I just want to say thank you very much to Danny Glover, to Monica, to everyone involved in this wonderful organization, and for what it stands for what it's doing worldwide. It's a very much needed organization, and I hope that everyone continues to support it so that it could grow and accomplish its goals in terms of helping women, because as a woman, I'm standing here because I have been helped by other women. So it's very important that we stand together and that we support this organization for all the good that it's doing. Thank you.
If I may just add, the famous Margaret Thatcher said, if you want something said, you tell a man, but if you want something done, you tell a woman.
Thank you. job.
Okay.
So we'll ask the judge to stay here while we call the other honors. Director G, Madam Castro, am I saying it right? And even though we were not able to have everyone's bio here today to read about it, we are going to publish it on the website and here. And while he presented to her, I just want to say that there are some powerhouses in here tonight, and we just want you to say something. Of course, this award is presented to you by Danny Glover, and it's called The Power of Dreams, because you have followed your dreams and you have done a fantastic job. So just, oh, come on, come, Judge. That's what we have to hear. You're a picture person.
I just want to thank you very much. I'm deeply honored, humbly grateful. I want to thank you, Monica and the Danny Glover Award, for giving me this award, the organization, and all the women. You all have empowered me. I wish my daughters were here. Just to for great things that you're doing in this community. I'm so grateful. I'm the president of the board of Rochelle Village. We service we have 120 acres of land, 20 buildings in that area, and 5,860 apartments, or 28,000 people that live there. So
wow!
And we do a lot of things in Rochelle Village. We service the youth, the seniors, and everyone. So I'm so grateful that you have honored me, and I'll be ever grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We want to call the famous attorney that gave us all the way from Nigeria. And I'd let my friend Dr. Ada present this right here. I'm a picture addict. Thank you so much. We're rushing, but and this one here I want to present, because this one is to one of the I don't want to say it that way, but one of the fall cock in the hen house. This is to ACC. We're in the Palawa Hut, and this is the founder, Mr. Kessley. And I'd like him to come up here. And he is one of the greatest supporters of women. So my friend here. The next award goes to Christina Case. Christina and I go back a long way. This is like the judge says, she looks well for her age. Christina is, we met through the airlines, but she's involved in banking, and she's one of those people who's an entrepreneur, who's a go-getter, who go and she is so wonderful. I get emotional. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you. I've known Monica so many years, and
I'm supposed to get emotional, not you.
and power of the dream is what Monica lives and does. I remember in the beginning, when she was starting out, so many people were negative, but she looked past and she pushed and she ignored the naysayers, and I'm so proud
God
of
is good.
what she's turned out.
Come on up here.
This is just
Come on
the
up
beginning.
here. And you see behind every or in front of every strong woman is what? Little man. Stay here, take one with this unit, mommy.
So don't give up.
That's her.
Whatever you do, however small, however large, please don't give up.
Thank you, my friend. Our next one is going to, I don't think, sister to sister is here, Pat Moore.
Oh, no, they.
No, Larry's gonna get that on her behalf, so. Sophia. There's so many power women in here that I wish that we could just spend time to go through all the stories and their journey and how they follow their dream. But each person up here follow a dream. And this is what it's about, following your dream. Because when you follow a dream, then you follow your dream, the seed that's planted inside of you. And we as a community, we just want to water that seed, give it the right soil and help it to grow. And that's what we need for the rural women. So my friend, on behalf of Mr. Glover, thank you so very much. For the video. I took home with her already.
I want to thank
Crystal,
Monica,
go
who
ahead.
I've known for about 20 years. And I want to thank her, Danny Glover, and everybody else that came here and those that couldn't attend. And all the women of the world who are suffering in silence because they are not allowed to speak. You are strong, you are special, you are empowered, we have your backs.
Amen. Let's go. She's sneaking and she's snuck it in the back here. We're gonna do like a little circle here, so come on here.
A horseshoe.
I'm surprised the photographer didn't try to get in here. We have the Barclays Center here. Come on in. We'll share with the photographer. Crystal is an author. She looks young. She's an educator. She's a teacher, and she wrote a couple books. So go ahead.
I'll keep it brief. I just wanted to thank Monica and Danny Glover and everyone else in here. I'm honored to be a part of this. I'm young, early 20s. It's my first book. And I've been writing short stories since I was a little girl and never really known they were a little girl. But I always knew that I was passionate about girls, and I was like, why not write some stuff that I know about girls and some advice, things that I've learned over the years with hopes that it'll help other young girls. And one day the hope is to have my own after school program, so thank you to all the other women that's paving the way forward, and I hope to follow you guys' success.
I'd like to call anybody sick? We have a doctor in the house. Come on here. This is my pediatrician. Dr. Veronica Wilshire. And you see how young all these people are getting, the good genes, right? On behalf of Mr. Glover, I'd like to present this to you. Move down that way so you could be on the camera right here.
So I'm Dr. Veronica Wilshire. I'm a pediatrician right here in Queens, but I was born and raised in Guyana. I left Guyana when I was 10. So a lot of the stories that I heard today are very familiar, like Judge Ash's story. I grew up sort of like that. My family moved to Antigua and Barbuda when I was 10 years old. And my journey wasn't easy too. But I had one of those, powerhouses for a mother, a prayer warrior, someone who I know truly, truly helped me on this journey.
in 1995, I mean, I think I was 13 years old, and there was a hurricane that really hit Antigua very badly. And my mom, decided to send me and my sister, who was 2 years older than me at that time, to live in the States. Because, especially for Caribbean and African parents, education is such a key, and they feel like if that's all they can give to their kids, they will try their best. So we came here to the States, and we lived with some family members. Of course, it was very, very difficult for us. And I didn't really know all that was going on. And when it was time for me to graduate high school, that's when I realized that I actually didn't have papers, because when she sent us, she just sent us on a visitor's visa. And at the time, my grandfather was actually, he was filing for us for the papers, sponsor me. And so the whole journey for me was really, really difficult. And by God's grace, I made it. And, my mom ended up coming without papers to take care of us. So we were all here, but through faith and through trusting God and not giving up, we were able to make it. And so today what I do, I work at a clinic in Far Rockaway, Queens. And, I'm one of those dreamers. And I was able to achieve my goal, and my dream did come true. And I want to thank Dr. Monica Sanchez for this award, and Danny Glover. And my goal is to inspire other young people who think that they don't have a way, but to encourage them. At my clinic, I have a lot of young people come to shadow me, especially those who want to do medicine, because representation does matter. So when they come to the clinic and they see that, one, you're black, because most of the time that's not the case. You're young, right? So they do think I'm the nurse first, and they're like, when are we seeing the doctor? And so because of that, though, I go into the community a lot and try to encourage them and mentor them. So that's my goal. I know Martin Luther King once said, he said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are we doing for others? Amen. Right? So today I want to encourage you guys to continue to be of service. The happiest people are the ones who give the most. Thank you.
While they do that, we want to call up Rose, my girl. Where is she? Oh, there she is, right there. Oh my goodness. There are so many powerful women here. I wish I could just give everyone in here an award. And guess what? You all have an award from me anyway, because I love you and I appreciate you, and I know that you got that dream. Put good soil, good water, and let that dream grow. Yeah.
I'm not the talking type, but I have to try. I have to thank my sister here, Monica. Money. I said money. And then Ada. I just came across money just few weeks ago. I am very overwhelmed from the way I saw her. And then I never knew that my friend Ada is so much involved in what I am seeing. And then I'm still yet to see more. So in the sense of that, I am in support of what they are doing. And then I know that I'm one of the teams now.
Amen. We're gonna carry on. Next, I want to call Dr. Celia. I these names. I don't like to mispronounce them. So, Dr. Ada, what's his last name? Come on up here. This is another visiting doctor from Nigeria, and she's made a trip here for CSW. As you know, thousands of women came for this event. So we would just like you to address the camera right over here. They're going back, they're only for a short visit, I wish you could stay.
Just a little thing I want to say. I'm so grateful
But we don't have a mic.
for giving me this award. The event was an eye-opener for me. So when I get back to Nigeria, I will try to empower girl child.
Another visiting a Nigerian come up for the CSW here. It seems like we're dominated by the Nigerians.
Counselor, and she knows I do a lot of work, but I'm the shy type, and she has been drawing me. Come to United Nations, you need to work there, and I thank God that it's an opportunity for me.
Thank you so much. Edwin. This is another young activist here visiting for the CSW. And we want to give them a round of applause because it's not easy to leave your home and make this trip. We have a celebrity in the house, and I wish you'd step up front here. Come on up, because you're late, so let's put you in the pictures. Let's fit you in here. Next, come on up. I'll quickly stand here for the camera because you're on World Wide Web and introduce yourself.
Hi everybody. Yes, hello. I'm sorry I'm late. How you doing? My name is Colors, and I'm the director for Blaze the Mic LLC, also Ikega African Village, which is a play. I'm also, I also have a band. It's an African band, African jazz band.
She's a superstar.
You know what? On that note, let me just do a little something real quick. All right? Praise the Lord. Father, there are times when it's so hard to pray, when I feel my feet slowly slip away. When my strength is all gone and I'm so afraid, I reach out and I call your name. When the shadows of the past blind the visions that you bring to me, your perfect love dissolves my fears. Whenever I feel like giving up, I raise my hands and I pray you. I can feel your nearness, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. I
want to call up Victoria Carter Edwards. This young lady is certainly a sure example of following a dream because she started out as one of my young models, competed in my beauty pageant, won her way up. The next thing I know, she works for the fire department. And she has her own business, so she certainly has followed her dream, and now she owns her own company. So congratulations.
Well, first of all, it's Women's History Month, so congratulations to all you wonderful women that have been making so much contribution to society. As a mother, a parent, I'm lost for words, I'm not a public speaker. But what I want to say, the real MVP tonight should be Monica Sanchez. Yes. I met Monica 11 years ago, and she had been touching so many young women from the Caribbean countries, building their platform through Miss Caricom pageant, and she has been empowering young women in communities. A lot of times, every year I contribute actually to her pageant by being a judge or helping her to actually mold and shape the young women in her pageant. And she had been reaching them so deep because some women, we lose confidence along our way, and we do need the support of others, especially women, in order to reach the places that we're trying to go. So Monica has been there touching the lives of a lot of young women, and I look forward to actually be with her for many years, helping her to reach the young women in Queens and Brooklyn and Long Island, you know, helping them to build their confidence.
We have a few more, but I want to call up Andrea, our producer, entrepreneur, director in the house. We have a couple more, but if there's anyone else in here who's supposed to receive an award, and I didn't see you or recognize you, here. Yeah. I know that we're giving one to Detective Community Affairs Tanya, but she's not here. So we're going to let Larry Moore on her behalf. Larry Love! Larry Love! Larry
Love! Hi, everybody. I would just like to thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I would like to thank you, Dr. Sanchez, and I would like to thank you, Larry Love, and Danny Glover, and all you wonderful women who are here, and men who have achieved this honor. I mean, I just feel like I don't belong here, like it's a dream, but I am so, yes, it is a dream. And I am a dreamer. I'm a store owner in a Southeast Queens, first black owner in that area, a deli. And I service my community with a lot of love, not just food love and words of encouragement. And I have a program in South Africa. I was invited to do music because I am a singer, and I wind up taking over the program and started to build a children recording studio and do music for them, and you know, in Durban, South Africa. And I just want to be the person to give back and inspire women and just give a lot of love. I don't want to be a talker, I just want to do.
Can you stand up for recognition, please?
No, I'm my
Mama. Here, get
Mama. Yes, I'm so
you know
sorry.
she's nervous. Come on,
Yes,
Mama.
my beautiful mother.
That daughter's here?
Yes, I just want to say without her, this wouldn't be possible. She is, no, she laughs, yes, she's church. My mother is my rock, and she's everywhere I go. I love her to death. She is my strength.
Well, like she said, that she's a doer, not a talker. You understand? But every year, she furnished 20 bikes or more for 4 schools that we pick out in the community with the most improved student. You know, at their graduation, they get a brand new bike. And the kids with the highest GPA average, you know, to encourage the 3rd and 4th graders to work harder, we give them all brand new bikes at their graduation.
I just want to mention Pat Moore, Sister to Sister, which we are going to give Larry Love that. And Gloria Rochester, who is awesome, who's doing such wonderful things. And of course, Detective Tanya from Community Affairs 105. And we're going to get this. We're going to try to take a picture now, and then we'll continue things. But let's just set up the awardees and take a picture. Get some pictures.
I would have been up along with her and said,
I want to put some
I see that.
Can Stanley get the picture? Oh, okay. That's my mentor. Oh, man.
Photographer, you want to set them up? You can always sit there.
I'll sit there.
I just want to say we have a lot of food and a lot of other goodies. We just want to get this part over with. So thank you. I want to recognize my sleeping friend who is so tired and exhausted. Come and get in a picture. Let somebody hold your bag and come on up here. We're gonna
Sorry. I won't be able to go home without saying my mom.
Hey, I need everybody to send a picture over there. So we don't get each other. But you're gonna get the pretty shot. Excuse me, sir. You can't put your phone.
I'll take one for
Yeah, one chair.
Sorry, y'all.
What you gonna do? Listen, I'm gonna shoot, he gonna shoot, you gonna shoot.
All right, we have a moment there. Go hide in your face. Where's the judge award? Let me get it. You're gonna have your award. Okay, good.
I'm gonna shoot, then he gonna shoot.
Young boy.
Mom's sharing. Okay, everybody face photographer. We have a very important.
You see the hand, she can snap. Beautiful.
You don't play with all the people.
Yeah, because we need a white name.
Okay, good.
Can you move your knees?
Great, great. You ready? You ready?
Yes. Okay.
I told you, he's very fussy, guy.
Excuse me, lady, you're in the field.
Stand next to me. Come in close.
No, lady's gonna be in the field. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Me?
go ahead, no. No, sit down here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we're missing one. Come, darling, come get the picture.
Did he take it?
Yeah, give him a chair over there.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to say, it was so crazy, I have to apologize for the That's it. Wait, no, just put a chair for you, she has hers, Dinah.
All right, let me get this.
Yeah, good.
All right, let me get this and then you go.
Washington, let it not fall.
Watch that award. I want to call my friend right here, a minister. Come on, minister, come on. And you just gonna talk later, but I want you to picture.
Minister for Women Affairs.
Women Affairs.
We gotta have
Uganda.
All right, everybody.
No, it's not good. It's not good.
Not good there?
Block.
Let her stand over there.
That chair gotta move.
Yes, hold on. Let her sit down.
Take that chair all the way.
Say your photographer's got a fussy guy.
Excuse me.
I agree.
Move back. Okay, go ahead.
See you now.
Okay,
Okay.
how we looking there?
Okay, cheese.
Yes.
Rick, let me get it first, and then you get it.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead now.
Why you on the picture? Sneak in, quick.
Okay.
This chair. Okay.
Two more time. Excuse me. The last one.
One more.
I want to get Rashid's out to the picture. Come on in real quick. Get it beside Dr. Otto over there. Push it.
Come on, my love, come on, I'm taking you over.
Okay. Okay.
You got it? All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Congrats.